Hi there makers, it is Jo here and I am continuing with our dyeing series where I show you some of the RIP dyes that we have over on our Minerva website and also some different ways to use them. I'm going to try and inspire you to have a go at dyeing over this series and maybe think a little bit wider than just that sort of hippie tie-dye style with the big spider's web on the front. I want you to think of some different techniques that you might try. Today I'm going to look at an ombre dip dye technique. I've used it here on my Stylark Bonnie top. So it's made in a really light muslin fabric. It's ideal for summer, it feels absolutely weightless. And it's been dipped from here, so you can see it's darker here, then it goes lighter, and then it goes back to the white, and the facings on the bottom give that opaque colour. This fabric was dyed and then made into a garment, but you can make the garment and dip that too. It's ideal for larger pieces of fabric where you can get a really good soak up of the dye, so you can use it to make muslin curtain drapes, you can use it for homeware, clothes, you can add ready-made garments to a dye and watch the dye rise up through the fabric. It's really interesting and you'll never know what you're going to get until you try. With this technique you can also double dip dye, so you can add one colour and then you can add another colour and change the timings, so you get so say I had this green and then I could dip it again in a yellow for example, and I would get a more limey colour going here, but then I could take it out and I could just get that colour at the top. So you can really explore and get creative with this technique. Today I'm going to use a calico base cloth and I've got a tote bag that's already made up, so you'll be able to see the dye in action in something that's already been made. I'll show you how to fix the dye at the end so that you keep the ombre colour, so that when you wash it, it doesn't get lighter at the top, you keep those different shades of fabric. I'll need to move my camera and go somewhere where I can use the sink and everything, so I'll switch up my filming and we'll see how to dip dye a bag. Before any dyeing process, it's a good idea to check the back of the bottle, make sure you've got everything you need. I've got washing up liquid, salt, my dye, and I've got plenty of space around me and somewhere to put any equipment that might have some dye on. I don't want to put that on my worktop. I'm going to use RIT all-purpose dye because my calico bag is cotton. This one is suitable for cotton, wool and nylon, but you'll get a lighter coral colour. And you can use other fabrics as well, but again you'll get a lighter colour. You'll get the best saturation with a cotton fabric. Because I'm using just this calico bag and it's a small amount, I'm going to reduce the amount of dye that I use. So I'll show you the quantities that I use, and you can either use the full 3 gallons with the same saturation of dye that's on the back, or you can reduce it just for smaller items. Because I'm doing a dip dye, then I'm going to have this fabric hanging over the bowl, so I don't want to use the stovetop method because I don't want anything hanging above my cooker, so I'm doing the one where you do it in the sink. I've got 3 pints of hot water. I've actually done a bit of further prep where I have got my bowl up resting on a baking tin, so that when I hang the bag it's hanging exactly in the position that I want. To the water I'm going to add a teaspoon of washing detergent and a cup of salt. That's all dissolved, and I'm going to do my ombre today with varying amounts of dye. So I'm going to start with just a teaspoon. This will make a really weak colour. I want that colour to rise up through the bag, and then I will make the dye stronger and stronger. You might find it useful to clip your garment or your fabric to a coat hanger so that you can make sure that the bag goes into the dye where you want it to. My first dip is going to be quick, and it's just going to be a quick dip to get the base lighter colour. So you can see up here is light pink, and now the bottom is sitting in more dye. So I'm going to leave that for about 20 minutes and then I'll add some more dye. In this weakest solution, I'm going to keep moving the bag, but I don't want to go up here because up here is where I want the really light solution. After 20 minutes, I'm going to add another teaspoon of dye. I've taken the bag out because I don't want to risk splashing neat dye on the bag. Now the colour saturation is stronger. Go to dip again. You can do this as many times as you like, but you can see we're getting that ombre effect. It's very gentle at the moment, but we could make it more pronounced by adding a stronger dye. For a completely unique look, if you're dyeing a whole piece of fabric, you would have all of your layers in here and you would allow the water to soak up through the fabric and just do it naturally. So you wouldn't be dunking up and down, you would just be seeing the water soak through the fabric. If you start with wet fabric, that works really well because the dye can percolate through the wetness and dampness in the weave. Or you can just keep dunking the work. You've got to leave this for half an hour, but keep moving it around, otherwise you'll get concentrations of dye in pools and creases in the fabric. This is particularly pertinent if you're dyeing a big piece of fabric. When your 30 minutes is up and you can see the darker colour going to the light, then you can squeeze the dye at the bottom because you don't want any of that to move any further up. You can use this dye for something else now, or you can empty the bowl and move to the fixative. The next part of the process is to add hot water again, and this time you're going to add your fixative. Fixative enhances the colour, it increases the colour retention, and it reduces bleeding for when you wash your garment afterwards. And this time you need to dip your whole bag. And keep it moving for 20 minutes. You can use Rit on its own. Because you've put the salt in with the dye, you'll get some colour retention. So you might decide not to use a colour stay fixative if you're dyeing something like a bag that won't be washed very often. It depends what garment you're making and whether you're going to be laundering it on a regular basis. The final part of the dye process is to rinse your fabric until the water runs clear. That's just a little bit pink. When the cold water runs clear, wring out your fabric and you're ready to dry it on the line. So this is the dip dye bag. It's really beautiful, and you can see where I put that extra dye in that bottom bit, but you can work the dye really gradually to get a really nice effect. But as you saw with my bonny top at the start of the video, I dyed that piece of fabric by folding it up into a long piece. I had the coat hanger on the top and then I dipped it in the fabric, and I just let that one soak up so you could see where I had a white bit at the end. This one I did a quick dye to blend all of the colours in with that coral saturation. I thought it'd be interesting to show you the dye that I had left over, and it wasn't the 3-gallon dilution, that was just the little teaspoons that I put in and the 3 pints of water. I got a piece of white cotton, and from corner to corner like this, I just rolled this up like this. And I sat that in the bowl, and because I didn't move it around or swish it around, then dye sat in little pools, and this is the effect that it created. A really mellow tie-dye, a little bit like Shibori Sweep in the Minerva print range, where you just get sweeping colours. It's totally random. You wouldn't know what you were going to get. Some tiny little bubbles there. But this would make great pyjama bottoms, or it can be used for shirt making. Today I used a liquid all-purpose dye from RIT, but there's lots of different ones. You can go back to a previous video on using Dye More, which is for synthetic fabrics, or you could take a look at some other colours in this range. There's lots of different colours, and although you get one base colour, you can change the saturation of that depending on how much you use, the dilution, and how long you keep it in the dye for. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's given you a little bit of a few things to think about, and do head over to our website if you'd like to take a look at any RIT products. You can join the craft club there, where you will receive discounts and offers throughout the year, and joining the craft club is a great place to get a really good discount if you're thinking of buying a selection of different dyes. You can also share your makes there and show us what you've been up to. It doesn't have to be a professional photo, we just love to see what you've been making, and you can be inspired by other Minerva makers. Do come back for some more of our dyeing videos. If you've got any comments or there's something specific you'd like to see, you can drop that in comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon.